Are you experiencing an inexplicable burning or tingling in your feet? Do your legs often feel numb, like they've fallen asleep and will never wake up? Have you experienced a sharp pain that shoots up your legs, stopping you in your tracks? Then your body is in urgent danger. Take the following quick nerve pain test to find out how serious the problem is. All you have to do is stand on one leg and slowly count to 30. Then switch legs and repeat. According to the leading neuropathy experts from Johns Hopkins University, if you lose your balance or if you start feeling any symptoms of nerve pain, then it's a clear sign your nerves are being severely damaged and you need to take immediate action before they die out for good. So it's important that you stick with me for the next 10 minutes to discover what you need to do today to finally stop the progression of neuropathy and trigger the complete regeneration of your nervous and muscular system without endless trips to the doctors, swallowing toxic meds, or risking life and limb in dangerous surgeries. It's called the Da Vinci nerve decompression method because it's been found in one of Da Vinci's lost diaries where he talked about his neuropathy. Anyone can do it at home for free, making the toxic meds, topical ointments, and risky surgeries essentially useless. And it's so powerful that it can literally erase months or even years of neuropathy, permanently releasing your nerves from the shackles they've been stuck in for so long, significantly decreasing the risk of lifelong pain and even paralysis. The strength of this method is currently being confirmed by a growing number of studies and tests from top international institutions such as Oxford University and the American Medical Institute. The best part? You can use it too, starting today. It's simple, and it only takes a few seconds of your time. In fact, this all-natural neuropathic remedy has already provided freedom and relief to more than 47,800 people worldwide. How do I know all of this? Well, after years of suffering, this method helped me free myself from neuropathy and live a normal life once again in just a few short weeks. Over the next 5 minutes, I'll show you where this hellish muscle-twisting, bone-crushing pain really comes from. I'll also explain why, as a type 2 diabetic with neuropathy, cutting sugar from my diet was a capital mistake, and why neuropathy has absolutely nothing to do with your pre-existing conditions, but everything to do with your nerves being suffocated in the very place they're connected to, your brain. If you ignore it, the seemingly innocent tickling, pinching, and pricking that you feel in your arms, hands, and legs and toes has a 97% chance of suddenly turning into painful and debilitating episodes. But listen, no matter how many solutions you've tried and which ultimately failed, or for how long you've been suffering, and no matter if every single doctor you've seen has crushed your hopes by telling you that you're bound to live with this gut-wrenching, torturous pain for the rest of your life, you need to know there's an easy method that has been repeatedly proven to work, regardless of your age or the severity of your disease. Yes, I know how unbelievable this sounds, especially if you've been suffering from neuropathy and thinking there's no escape whatsoever. But just close your eyes and imagine. No more piercing and stabbing. No more crawling sensations and cramps that wake you up at night. No more feeling like a burden to your loved ones, frustrated that they're unable to help you. Not having to fuss about your blood sugar levels every day and fearing the slightest change would bring waves of terrible pain. And instead, you'll enjoy a normal life where you can walk barefoot in the grass or sand, while finally getting a good night's sleep and waking up happy full of energy. The Da Vinci nerve decompression method will give you lasting relief and well-deserved comfort for the first time in months, if not years, so you can get back to your friends, family, and the hobbies you've been itching to experience again. I promise that if you stay with me until the very end of this video, you will regain your social life, finally being able to relax and go out with your friends and family. Just take a look at what some of the people who tried out this method had to say.
So listen, my husband has been on his feet for 10 hours a day for as long as I can remember. And normally when he comes home after work, he has to put his feet up because the nerve pain is just so bad. But since he's been trying your method, he's finally finding some relief. And I'm so excited because he's actually able to help me with groceries and running errands, and he's got so much relief. He's even helping our daughter's soccer team's coach, which is amazing for him to be able to participate in that. So just wanted to say thank you.
4 years ago, I started having frozen feet whenever I sat down. It just started out of the blue. I had to go through several painful EMGs when I went to various specialists trying to figure out the cause. But 6 months ago, I came across your presentation. I had never heard anything like it before. So I figured, hey, I might as well give it a try. Well, long story short, I no longer have frozen feet. I am so glad that I tried your method.
At 35, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and a few years after that, neuropathy. I remember that the pain was so bad that I could barely walk or stand up. It got so bad, it felt like boiling water was being poured over my feet. It never stopped. Not in the morning, not in the afternoon, not at night. I even considered amputation just because I couldn't take it anymore. But after I stumbled upon your video, I decided to try your method. And God, am I glad I did. The pain is now completely gone, and I can finally live again. Thank you.
Now, if you suffer from neuropathic pain for any length of time, I'm sure you're curious to find out all about this groundbreaking Da Vinci nerve decompression method. So let's not waste any more time. I want you to know who I am, how the actual root cause of neuropathy was discovered thanks to Da Vinci's late obsession with human skulls, and exactly how it will help you finally achieve the painless life you deserve in less than a few short weeks from today. My name is Harrison Shaw. I'm 57 years old, and I live in a small town near Boston, Massachusetts. I've been a medicinal chemist at one of the biggest U.S. universities for over 25 years now. And in my day-to-day job, I study and assess every single compound in a potential new drug and decide how safe it is for you. That's why I often get to meet and assist hundreds of brilliant doctors, students, and alternative medicine experts in their research. And not only that, but I've single-handedly been responsible for a few medical breakthroughs and life-changing treatments. I'm proud to say that I was on the team who researched and created a new breakthrough type treatment for type 2 diabetes with amazing results. A treatment that is now very famous among Hollywood stars. But of course, nothing compares to the neuropathy remedy I'm about to reveal to you. It all began about 6 years ago. I went in for a routine checkup with my GP, and he confirmed that I had type 2 diabetes. It was hard for me to accept and quite depressing since I had to follow a strict diet. After about 4 years, though, I got used to it. I learned slowly what I could eat and what medication was best for me, if there even is such a thing. I was lucky type 2 diabetic. That is until one Sunday afternoon while I was drinking my morning coffee in the kitchen. A horrible throbbing pain hit me like a full-speed truck. I grabbed my leg in disbelief, but the pain was burning through my nerves straight to my spine. My wife rushed me to the hospital, and after 2 excruciating hours in the waiting room, a doctor finally saw me. I had to take an EMG along with blood work and a couple of tissue biopsies, and finally the result was in front of my eyes: neuropathy. I left with a bag full of pills and creams that were supposed to help me when I had an episode. Problem was, though, the pain would never leave me despite taking a fistful of drugs every day. I've kind of learned how to walk on the side of my feet because the small pebbles felt like daggers piercing straight through my foot, which is why I had to switch to wearing Crocs and socks way before my time. Standing up suddenly was also a gamble. I've had more falls in the past year than I've ever had in my childhood. The pain was always stabbing at my legs and hands, but walking or standing for more than 5 minutes at a time would trigger a pain that felt like I was having my legs crushed by a 2-ton tractor. Often, I'd wake up with no feeling in one hand, so I'd have to be careful which one I used to switch my phone on and off. It was harder and harder to live day to day without the help of my wife or colleagues, and things only got worse. Besides the fatigue and terrible weight gain caused by my type 2 diabetes, I now had to deal with my arms and legs feeling like they were being constantly stabbed with needles every time I moved them. I couldn't get out of bed because I would cry like a baby every time the soles of my feet would even touch the ground. Unfortunately, tramadol didn't help either. Sure, it took the pain away for a couple of hours, but eventually it came back with a vengeance. I had to take even more opioids to barely even feel human, and I won't even mention the terrible skin itching it caused and the extreme mood swings. I felt like a junkie. The creams and gels didn't help either. They numbed the surface of my skin for a bit, for a few minutes at a time. The pain always came back before long. I also tried doing electrical nerve stimulation, but as the doctor explained to me, that wasn't going to work long term because it just made my nerves think they weren't in pain. As soon as I went home, the pain would shoot up my legs again. In case you're wondering why I didn't try surgery, why would I? The risks were higher than the rewards. It was crazy expensive, and it wouldn't even guarantee the pain would go away. Now, I don't know about you, but months of physical therapy and the possibility of permanent numbness after the surgery were enough to put me off. So I tried to keep myself busy most days, working in the garage and hoping that if I tinkered with some wood, I'd forget the pain. I would often do that because I slowly went from sleeping 8 hours a night like a baby to barely getting 3 hours straight of shut-eye before waking up in agony. I told myself to just think positive, just ignore it and be a man. But that's when my hell began. For 16 days straight, I couldn't get out of bed because of the pain. It felt like my hands and feet had caught fire, and I was a burn victim confined to my bed. Day after day, even the feeling of the bed sheets on my legs felt like torture. Not to mention that my wife had to struggle to lift me to the edge of the bed, while my 2 sons had to carry me to the toilet like I was a 100-year-old man. And that's when it hit me. What's worse than being a burden to your family? To them, I was a vegetable, incapable of even wiping myself. I felt the worst I had ever felt in my entire life. Do you know how it feels to be looked upon with pity? Especially when you know you could do everything if the damn pain would just stop. At that time, each touch and sensation was excruciating. But I knew I couldn't wallow in my misery. I had to pick myself up by the bootstraps and push through. By day, I would be at the university, popping pill after pill, trying not to shed tears of pain like a baby, and any free time I had was spent in the hospital. And by night, I would twist and turn in my bed, crying myself and wishing it would all stop. In my darkest moments, I even prayed for death. I was so desperate to hear a solution or an answer that I would have even accepted that I was crazy and the pain was in my head. Blood tests, pricking, prodding, and 2 nerve biopsies later, doctors would still say there was nothing they could do, besides, of course, amputating my legs. I'm ashamed to admit that the thought did appeal to me at first. I was in so much pain that I would have been fine with that having my legs cut off if it meant I could finally have relief. But then, images of my family flashed before my eyes, my wife, my son pushing me around in a wheelchair, getting me in and out of bed, washing, wiping me like I was a baby for the rest of my life. Was shamed. And it was that very real possibility of shame that pushed me to make the decision that would change my life and the lives of more than 47,800 people forever. I decided to take the matter into my own hands. What did I have to lose? Wasn't like I was getting much sleep anyway. So I started doing my own research, night after night, through flares of terrible pain, countless ice packs covering my burning feet. I was scrolling, reading, watching, and listening to anything even remotely related to my condition. That's when I stumbled across something fascinating about Da Vinci, of all people. It turns out he became obsessed with skulls in his later years. He suffered from neuropathy too, and he was convinced that the key to his pain was hidden somewhere in the skull. Unfortunately, Da Vinci died before he could find out just how close to the truth he was. Because after reading that article, one thought struck me. If Da Vinci, with his incredible mind, was fixated on the skull for relief from his own pain, there had to be something there. So I dove deeper, looking into everything I could find about the skull's anatomy. That's when I discovered the key piece of the puzzle, a hole in our skull called the foramen magnum that all nerves have to go through to reach the brain. Imagine your body as a busy city, with your nerves being the road that connects different paths to the city, to the downtown area, or the brain. To get to the brain, every single nerve has to go through a tunnel, which is called the foramen magnum, and is located at the base of your skull. To make the body-brain transition smoother, the foramen magnum is lined by a protective layer made of very thin muscle fibers, or the foramen muscle lining as I like to call it. It clicked right then and there. Da Vinci was onto something, and so was I. I had the first few pieces of the puzzle, but I still couldn't figure out where the pain came from. Was there something wrong with the foramen magnum? But before I could find an answer to my question, my research came to a painful halt. Their stress from work and the constant burning and stabbing in my feet and hands were getting to me. The fact that nothing and no one could help me filled me with anguish. I could barely work or even focus while my wife or kids were talking to me. I had 5 pain pill brands in my bag at all times, and I had to take them in turns to make it through 8 hours in the lab. And don't think for a minute that the pain would actually go away. It was just less, enough for me to follow simple conversations. And even those were rare because I had slowly become the outcast of the university world. But my nightmare was soon about to end, thanks to Dr. Mason. He was one of the most prestigious and admired researchers at the university, considered the Albert Einstein of neurological understanding. He was so brilliant, people couldn't help but admire him and his work. You see, he was the leading neuroscientist at the university and a 3-time winner of the Fenns Award, which is like the Oscars of neurology. Not only that, but rumor had it that he was actually the brilliant mind behind one of the most prescribed medications for neuropathic pain, duloxetine. I actually had been lucky enough to study under him for a few years during my apprenticeship, but it had been so long since then that I didn't even think he'd recognize me. So when he stopped me one day at the university hallways, I had to look left and right just to make sure he was talking to me. He told me he'd heard about my story and thought he could help. He was working on an experimental study and he needed someone to become his test subject. He then said the study would be kept under wraps for a while, for reasons I will explain to you in just a few moments. I don't think I can do it. I am in too much pain, Dr. Mason. I'm scared we'll make it worse, I said. I explained everything to him. The pain I'd been in, all the methods I tried to get rid of it, my research, and the discovery of Da Vinci's foramen magnum theory. You are right about the foramen magnum playing a part in this, but that's just the beginning. At that moment, I felt an odd wave of relief washing over me. So I was right about the cause of my neuropathy being something else. And what he revealed next left me in complete shock. So, please listen carefully to what I'm about to say because it's a matter of life and death. First, what you need to understand is that, as the doctor explained to me, neuropathy is not a damaged nerve disease, nor it is a bacterial infection as it was thought to be just a few years ago, but a symptom of a hidden condition. You see, for years now, researchers have suspected that neuropathy has a different root cause. Unfortunately, most doctors are not up to date with the latest research in the field and still believe neuropathy is caused by damaged nerves. But what is it? Where does the pain come from, doctor? How is the foramen magnum connected to all of this? I asked him. He took me into his office and told me that what he was about to show me was controversial, to say the least. He pulled up his iPad and showed me the one thing that would end up giving me and over 47,800 other people their life back, as he had already confirmed my discovery about the foramen magnum was correct. In order to reach the brain, all nerves have to go through this hole in our skulls, which is lined by a very thin layer of muscle. And this very thin layer of muscle was the real issue. You see, just like any other muscle in your body, this one also needs energy to work properly. Energy it takes from sugar. That's right, your muscles actually need certain levels of sugar to stay healthy. In fact, a team of scientists from the University of Bath's Department of Health has recently discovered that sugar is an essential element in muscle growth. Yes, sugar. The very thing we type 2 diabetics are told to avoid like the plague. Pretty easy to follow so far, right? Well, here's where things get a bit tricky. Dr. Mason told me as he showed me more studies. Sometimes the foramen muscle is unable to properly absorb sugar anymore. And I'll explain in a second why this happens. In a process he called sugar malabsorption, instead of the glucose going into the muscle where it's supposed to go, it gets stuck on the muscle's surface. There, it hangs onto the walls of the hole that your nerves have to go through to reach the brain. And just like water and sediments form stalactites and stalagmites in the cave, the sugar changes into sharp, microscopic crystals. But your nerves still have to go through there to reach your brain. And they have to pass by these miniature knives lining the foramen magnum. But because of this, hole has become so narrow, your nerves get stabbed, scratched, and pinched by these crystals as they pass by. It's like your neck and nerves are held in a spiked choker. My heart was racing. This was mind-blowing. That was where my pain was coming from. As I was coming to terms with this, I could feel the familiar tingling in my feet. But now I was terrified because I knew my nerves were being slowly stabbed to death at this very moment. It was almost like they were stuck in a vice that was slowly closing in on them. Is there anything that can be done, I asked Dr. Mason, or will I have to live with this for the rest of my life? He shook his head and went on explaining. You can't eat more sugar because only a very small fraction of it actually feeds the nerve-protecting foramen muscle, while most of it will turn into more crystals, putting even more pressure on your nerves, which would result in you simply losing feeling and control of your legs and hands. You can't fully cut off sugar either because the rest of your muscles need it, he explained. You see, when it comes to sugar, our bodies have simply not caught up to all the artificial sugars that are in our diet. We're still meant to get our glucose strictly from natural sources such as fruits and honey. But because everything we consume nowadays is laced with artificial sugars, our bodies simply can't process it, leading to the thin foramen muscle lining not processing sugar as it should, which results in stage 4 neuropathy, one step away from complete numbness and in worst cases, limb loss. Your nerves are constantly being stabbed and choked as they desperately try to reach your brain, sending signals throughout your body that something is terribly wrong. The burning you feel in your feet, the stabbing, and the sleepless nights are all signs that your nerves are in dire need of relief. By now, I'm sure you're very conflicted, as this doesn't seem to make much sense. I mean, if you stay away from sugars and everything else you've avoided, the pain will get worse. But if you add them to your diet again, the type 2 diabetes will wreck your body. That's fine. I was as confused as you are, but luckily there's a solution for this. As I have already told you, the foramen muscle lining is incredibly thin, so no pain medicine ever addresses it because the brain doesn't deem it as important. I feel like I'm so close to solving the problem of neuropathy for good, Dr. Mason said. I just need to discover how to clear this key muscle of all the painful crystals and help the body process the sugar better. It would go faster if you'd help me. So we continued from where he left off, sifting through hundreds of studies to find out how to reach the muscle lining and help it recover. It took us 2 whole months to finally see the light at the end of this sugar-lined tunnel. We figured out that since our bodies obviously don't like artificial stuff, the best thing to do was to turn to nature for our solution. It had to be 100% natural at the least while the healing process starts. We couldn't risk using any more man-made substances because the pain is unbearable and we didn't want to make it worse. So we buried ourselves in mountains of botanical research, gathering and testing plants and minerals that have sugar-regulating properties. And after dozens of sleepless nights and gallons of coffee, we finally had a formula ready to test. Dr. Mason agreed that I would be the best candidate, so I became my own human lab rat, and I was happy about it. After all, what did I have to lose? I started taking the formula twice a day, every day, and at first, I have to admit, I was incredibly disappointed. The pain was still there, my feet were still burning, and I was still tossing and turning in bed every night. But I was determined to continue. I didn't want to let all the time we had spent researching go to waste. And boy, I'm so glad I did. As the days passed, I noticed I'd started putting my weight on my feet more as they didn't hurt as bad. Then I noticed I wasn't tossing and turning that much at night. The scorching heat in my feet had become only a light tingle. And for the first time in what felt like forever, I woke up in the morning feeling refreshed and rested after 10 full hours of uninterrupted sleep. When I went down to the kitchen, my wife greeted me with a shocked look on her face. "You didn't use your cane to come down the stairs?" she asked incredulously. The overwhelming relief I felt when I realized that I had just walked downstairs like a normal person with no cane, no burning, and no wincing in pain can't compare to anything. And as the weeks passed by, the results didn't cease to amaze me. In such a short amount of time, I'd left behind the shell of a human I used to be, and once again became the man my family knew and loved. The numbness and burning that made me feel like a prisoner in my own body was completely gone. I was in full control over my body once again, and it felt amazing. This formula worked. Now, here comes the sickening part. We tried to get our study published, and we imagined that everyone would jump for joy at the opportunity of having their name on a neuropathy solution. But instead, they told us that we would have to jump through countless hoops and pay a small fortune in bureaucratic procedures, most of which seemed to serve no purpose other than to delay us and line their own pockets. We felt like they were sending us on a wild goose chase, which would effectively waste our money and time. And when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. The neuropathic industry is forecast to reach $9.8 billion between 2024 and 2027. Why would they want one simple, powerful remedy on the market that does what a boatload of expensive and lucrative pharmaceutical products can't? At best, if they even released it for use by the general population, they would make it so obscenely expensive that it would be out of reach for most people like you and me. One day, the dean of the prestigious Boston University, who we had been working with, called us into his office. You know, if you two keep this up, the medical department will lose all its funding, right? Where do you think that money is coming from? He asked us. It's disgusting to think about it, but all the big pharma companies are funding, sometimes partially and sometimes fully, a huge number of studies. Do you think they'd want people curing diseases that line their fat pockets? Of course not. And for that reason, Dr. Mason and I sat down together and decided that we have a moral obligation to all of you. I was blessed enough to have my normal pre-neuropathy life back, and to not share that with you too felt like it would be almost criminal. So, we took a leap of faith and we decided to go rogue. We were going to publish these results with or without the university's backing. And here we are today in this video, which we hope will reach all the neuropathy sufferers out there. By now, you must be very curious to find out what this ultimate neuropathic pain-busting secret formula contains. Why all its ingredients are so extremely powerful that not only do they clear the sugar crystals, but they also repair and rejuvenate your nerve cells while protecting them. And most importantly, how it works and why it works so incredibly well. After testing hundreds of ingredients and combinations, we selected 5 unbelievably potent ones that work in perfect synergy to clear off the sugar crystals, soothe your nerves, and teach your body how to regulate any sugar it assimilates. That can take a bit of time though, so first we had to take care of the most pressing matter, pain. The process is kickstarted by a little-known plant that comes from the high-altitude grasslands in China. It's been used for thousands of years in Chinese medicine for its incredible pain-relieving properties. And that's exactly what caught our attention. This plant is called Corydalis, and it will take your body out of survival mode so it can heal. It starts by blocking the pain signals from reaching your brain and helping your body fully relax, so it can quickly absorb and process all the healing ingredients of the formula. We wanted to make this process as fast as possible, so we added California poppy seeds, or nature's best painkiller, as scientists at the University of Bern in Switzerland like to call them. While the Corydalis blocks the sensation of pain, these tiny seeds will directly target your nerves, sedating them and offering temporary relief. A 3-month study had 264 people take California poppy seeds twice a day. After just 7 days, more than 50% of these people reported feeling more relaxed, with 13% of them claiming they got the best sleep of their lives. Keep in mind that at this point, it's possible your nerves are on their dying breath, and any more damage can permanently disable them. So it was super important that we included an ingredient that directly targets them from the very beginning. This is when you'll feel the pins and needles becoming a bit more bearable. When you get out of bed in the morning, the rug under your feet won't feel like sandpaper on it. Now that your nerves are not dying and your brain isn't in survival mode, it can redirect more resources to the next step, which is taking a mighty hammer to the sugar crystals around your nerves. For that, we have Italian prickly pear. After testing 50 varieties, we found this to be the only version of prickly pear strong enough to regulate your erratic blood sugar levels. While doing that, prickly pear also reduces your blood pressure and regulates its flow, making sure pure, well-oxygenated blood feeds and regenerates your nerves. And because there's no extra sugar coming in, the crystals around your nerves become brittle and start to break off little by little. After the crystals are fully gone, we have to make sure that they never reform. We have to teach your body to properly assimilate the sugar it needs while eliminating the excess instead of depositing it around your nerves. For that, we use a tiny plant that has been proven time and time again to supercharge your digestive system. What does that have to do with the sugar around my nerves, you might ask? Well, all that sugar has to go through your stomach first, so we have to make sure that the sugar that reaches your foramen muscle lining is the perfect amount for it, while the rest goes to your other muscles and out of your body. For that, we have used used an incredibly potent extract of marshmallow root. In a 2010 study done by the University of Munster in Germany, this little white flower was proven to create a protective layer of mucus around your stomach lining, soothing it and boosting digestion. Thanks to this shield, no extra sugar will go into your bloodstream, which means the foramen muscle lining will get the exact quantity it needs to properly protect your nerves as they reach your brain. Thanks to its slimy properties, marshmallow root will also help your nerves connect faster to the brain. Last but not least, God knows how much you need some peace of mind after all the torment you've been through. That's why I decided to add a strong extract of passiflora, a favorite plant among Peruvian tribesmen. For this formula, we had to use the Amazonian passion flower, which is incredibly rare and can only be found in the lush Amazonian rainforest. This incredible plant will regenerate your nerves in almost no time, which means you can say goodbye to the pain for good almost as soon as it enters your system. On top of that, it's also been found to heavily reduce the levels of stress in people who take it, which means better sleep, more peace of mind, and a happier life overall. In a trial published in Phytotherapy Research, participants had to consume passion flower. After 7 days, they reported improvement in the quality of their sleep. Another study reported in the journal Anesthesia and Analgesia examined the effects of passiflora on patients scheduled for surgery. Patients who consumed it reported less anxiety than those who had received a placebo. Now, I know all of that might have been a lot to take in, so let's recap what these premium ingredients do for you. Corydalus and poppy seeds soothe your nerves and relieve your body of pain. Then, prickly pear breaks off and washes away the sugar crystals surrounding your nerves. The marshmallow root coats your stomach lining, making sure the foramen muscle lining gets the exact amount of sugar it needs. No more, no less. And last but not least, the passiflora restores your peace of mind, eases your anxiety, and helps you sleep well through the night so your body can fully recover after months or even years of pain. Getting these ingredients, however, proved harder than we imagined. So I searched the whole world through my scientific connections and contacted only certified producers and verified suppliers, making sure that we used only top quality ingredients with 100% healing properties for our recipe. It was very difficult and exhausting. And there were times when I was so tired that I even threw up, but in the end, there it was. I was shaking when I finally held in my hands the formula that would end my neuropathy and bring my life and dignity back. If this tiny, natural remedy was the solution to my nerve pain, it would be a miracle, especially because it was so simple. Anyone can take it, regardless of the severity of their suffering. It doesn't require any costly doctor appointments or trying any other therapies. It protects you from the incredibly debilitating pain once and for all. Seeing how well it worked on me, we knew we had to get this out there. We wanted this potent combo to be available to any red-blooded American who's been forced to suffer through unbearable amounts of pain every day and night. But before we could do that, we had to make sure it worked for everyone. So I gathered a list of 20 people I knew who suffered from various levels of neuropathic pain and asked them to discreetly test out our nerve repair formula. Every single person accepted immediately, especially because no one needed to leave their houses, as we personally delivered them the formula. They each received a weekly report form to follow their progress. I was prepared to wait at least a week for the initial reports to come back, but what happened next was amazing. After just a few days, I was getting calls from everyone in the study claiming their pain was less intense. They couldn't believe it, and so I encouraged them to stick with taking their treatment and continue charting their progress. Being one of the people who'd had a very bad experience with neuropathy, I was even more shocked at how quickly my pain subsided. In the following weeks, I was sleeping like a baby. No more nightmarish screams waking me up from my sleep, no more cramps, no more night pains, and soon enough, all of my neuropathic symptoms had disappeared. Not only that, but I felt more alert and aware of my environment because my brain had turned off the emergency state. I was now able to hear and focus on what other people were saying. But even though my pain was gone, I kept taking the formula just to see what would happen. And before long, my bones and muscles were beginning to feel like they did when I was 17 and on the track team. I had also achieved a complete state of relaxation and no more depression, no more anxiety. And it wasn't just me. When I went to collect the reports from the other subjects in my initial study, the results I saw were astounding. I knew I just couldn't keep this life-saving treatment all to myself, so we decided to produce this breakthrough treatment and make it available for everybody who's tormented by neuropathy, and we called it Nervovive. This unique anti-neuropathy formula gathers 5 scientifically proven extra strong ingredients that help your body properly assimilate and eliminate excess sugar, sending just the right amounts to the nerve-protecting foramen muscle. It's manufactured in the USA in our FDA-approved and GMP-certified facility under strict, sterile, and precise standards. This formula is non-GMO and safe. It does not contain any dangerous stimulants or toxins, and it's not habit forming. Since its release, more than 47,800 people have felt incredible relief. People like...
I was in surgery for nerve damage a couple of years ago, but, well, that did more harm than good. I would notice these weird sensations in my arm where a lot of the nerve damage was located. Once I had an incredibly severe burning sensation in the back of my arm. Well, almost immediately after discovering this breakthrough, the pain would subside. It was crazy how fast it happened.
I've had severe pain from a pinched nerve in my shoulder for several years. It's so bad at times that I can't even pick up a cup. Since taking the formula, I'm able to start doing push-ups again, something that would have been impossible for me to do before. I'm actually surprised it worked, because nothing else had.
I suffered from type 2 diabetic neuropathy for years. I was in pain every day. I was a regular at the ER for steroid shots. One of my friends recommended this to me, and it changed my life. I'm about 98% good, going for 100%, and it's only been 2 weeks.
By now, I'm guessing that you're probably ready to try this state-of-the-art solution for yourself, and you should be, because it is the first scientifically backed formula that allows you to regain full control over your body, ultra-fast. So, with all that in mind, let's talk about how you can get your hands on this amazing breakthrough treatment today. First, what you need to know is that we absolutely refuse to cut any corners. With this anti-neuropathy prime blend, you're always guaranteed a premium, state-of-the-art product that is clinically tested and proven to work. We've never spared any expense when it came to formulating it, especially since there are only a couple of laboratories in the world that can work with the plants involved with such precision and care that they keep their properties intact so they can effectively do their job. Break off the sugar crystals stabbing your nerves. The bottom line is, quality like this doesn't come cheap. However, when you compare the price of this unique solution with the dozens of formulations containing outdated, generic formulas that are of barely any help, and when you take into account the lack of real solutions that actually target and destroy the root cause of neuropathy instead of just numbing it temporarily, we could easily offer this at a very high price. And considering the results our customers have seen without having to use any dangerous surgeries or ineffective treatments, most of them said they would pay without even a second thought. Think about it. How much would you be willing to invest to never feel like a slave in your own body? Or how much would you be willing to invest to be able to go about your day knowing you can trust your feet, hands, and legs to feel healthy and normal? What would you be willing to spend if you were absolutely, positively sure this formula would be a miracle for you? $300? $500? $700? But you know what? How can I put a price on a person's ability to feel like themselves again? How can I charge you an arm and a leg to give you your hobbies and your life back? I couldn't live with myself if I had. That's why my team and I thought that in order to make it affordable for most people, but also cover the ingredients costs and at least part of the research time that my team and I have invested, the retail value of the product should be $175. Honestly, this is a steal considering what this unique anti-neuropathy formula can do. However, our goal with this state-of-the-art formula has always been put it into the hands of as many people in need as possible. That's why we decided to cut out the middleman and instead of selling it in stores, make it available only on our website and pass the savings on to you. This means you don't need to invest $170 to feel like yourself again, nor $150, not even $120. All we want is to cover the cost of the ingredients and keep the site running for as long as possible. Even though the cost of ingredients is rising because supply chains are very fragile nowadays and energy prices are going up. I'll have to charge $99 for one bottle soon. And without a doubt, $99 for one bottle is surely a lot less than nerve repair surgery. So today, only on this website and nowhere else, you can get your very own 30-day supply of Nervovive for a one-time 100% risk-free investment of $69. That's right, just $69. That's less than $2 a day, the cost of a cup of coffee, to get your body back, live comfortably, and never have to worry about the terrible burning and stabbing sensations in your feet and hands. And because I am so grateful you've made it this far into the presentation, which means you're serious about your health, if you order a 3 or 6 month package, we'll give you an even bigger discount and additional bonuses. Here's why. While many of our users experience noticeable changes in as little as a couple of weeks, the real magic happens when you take it for at least 90 days. We've seen the effects of this solution on a lot of people, and that's why I would recommend you take this formula twice a day for at least 90 days just to make 100% sure the sugar crystals are completely gone and there's no extra glucose seeping into your blood. Honestly, I can't estimate exactly how thick the sugar crystal barrage is around your nerves, but chances are, if you've been dealing with neuropathy for more than 6 months, and especially if you suffer from type 2 diabetes, there's a lot of solidified sugar around your nerves that needs to be broken. So that's why I recommend you take this anti-neuropathy formula for at least 3 to 6 months. 6 months if you want to be sure that your body is fully trained to both properly absorb and eliminate the excess sugar. 6 months of this anti-neuropathy solution will fully break off the sugar crystals around your nerves, freeing you from the prison, burning pain that torments you daily. The ingredients will have enough time to train your body to not only calculate the exact amount of sugar your foramen muscle lining needs, but also properly redirect the excess to your other muscles and eliminate the rest of it. This means the longer you take this anti-neuropathy solution, the better and more energetic you'll feel. Never again will you wake up feeling exhausted after a sleepless night that you spent tossing and turning, begging for a second of release. And it would be soul-crushing to be so close to never having to deal with that crazy pain again, just to find you're out of this incredible anti-neuropathy solution. Missing one day might lead to your body forgetting how to assimilate the sugar in your food, and little by little, the crystals will come back. That means you could risk compromising or slowing down your entire progress. But today, you can get our 6-month package at a huge discount. It even comes with free shipping, so you won't spend a dime to get your delivery. This means that for less than $2 a day, you will be able to solve every single one of your neuropathy problems for good. And that's not all. If you're smart and order the 3 or 6 month supply, you'll also get 2 bonus online guides worth $148 absolutely free. The first bonus is the Blood Sugar Blueprint, 1 week to type 2 diabetes relief. In this guide, you'll find incredibly powerful tips and tricks to get your blood sugar in check that your doctor doesn't even know. You'll discover what to do immediately after eating to make sure that your blood sugar stays under 110. 3 weird but incredibly efficient stretching exercises to keep your type 2 diabetes in check. The 1 exotic spice you have to add to your bath water that lowers blood sugar almost instantly. The revolutionary pinch method that lets you eat your favorite dessert without worrying about blood sugar. The next bonus is Ageless Health, simple Tibetan habits for complete body rejuvenation. In this guide, you'll find the Tibetan morning routine that gives you the energy of a teenager. Doing this daily gives you more energy than drinking 2 cups of coffee. The Buddhist monk trick to improve your digestion. Press these 3 spots to never experience bloating or acid reflux again. And you'll also learn about the 8 little-known Tibetan herbs that will protect you against diabetes, Alzheimer's, and more. This is cutting-edge knowledge. The guide will also show you where you can find the best resources for these herbs online. I can't wait for you to read them, and I want you to be completely satisfied with your purchase. So remember, once you invest in 3 or 6 bottles, we'll also give you these 2 bonus online guides worth $109 absolutely free. You will gain access to them immediately once you place your order. That's how confident we are that you'll love what this anti-neuropathy solution has in store for you. Now, maybe you have friends who also suffer from this bone-crushing pain, or maybe you've been dealing with this problem for some time, or maybe you just want to always have it on hand. For these reasons, more and more of our customers are choosing to invest in the larger pack of 6 bottles, which saves them no less than $120 and gives them 2 free bonuses worth $109 each. And you should also know that our special bottling method keeps the formulas fresh on your shelf for at least 2 years. Due to the extremely limited supply and high demand, most of our clients are choosing the 3-pack and 6-pack deals. But I can't guarantee this offer will be available if you choose to leave this page and come back later. So don't hesitate to stock up today for maximum savings. Please know that you won't find us anywhere else. We do not sell on Amazon or any other website. The only place where you can order this anti-neuropathy formula is right here on this page. And the page will only be up for as long as we have remaining stock. If you're skeptical, we totally understand. You've tried a lot of methods, you've spent a lot of money, went through so much pain, and nothing has worked. I am so confident that our unique formula works that I'm going to give you our ironclad 60-day money-back guarantee. If you don't experience any dramatic improvement or you're not content for any reason whatsoever, we will promptly issue a full, hassle-free refund. All you need to do is contact us within the first 60 days of your purchase. You can send back all the bottles, even the empty ones, and we'll still refund your money. Just get in touch with our friendly customer support staff and they'll be happy to assist you. The contact information is right on the bottle. This means you have 2 whole months to decide if Nervovive is for you or not. Your order today is a one-time payment with no subscription or hidden charges. Just choose the package you want below. Once you click on your chosen package, you'll be taken to a secure checkout page. Then, all you have to do is just fill in your payment details using a credit card, debit card, or PayPal. After that, we'll quickly send you your order in a discreet package for maximum privacy. Again, this offer is in extremely high demand, so my suggestion is don't delay. You see, it can take us from 6 to 9 months to produce a new batch as we accept only the purest ingredients. Otherwise, its efficiency would be compromised. Sure enough, searching for and sourcing the most potent ingredients around the world delays things considerably. Next, we ask a third-party lab to test the quality of each ingredient to ensure this advanced formula does its best work. Finally, they're released to our contract manufacturer here in the USA for bottling. We don't receive the batch in our warehouse until the formula passes all tests. As you can see, there are a lot of steps that involve a lot of people. What's more, with everything going on in the world right now, our distribution faces numerous challenges. And with rising demand, we will be out of stock soon. Therefore, if you decide not to try it today, I can't promise it will be available later. Think about it. Right now, as you're watching this video, thousands of men and women across the country are bringing an end to doctors' visits that only waste their time and money and leave them frustrated as no one takes them seriously. For the first time in years, they're experiencing no more pain, no more sleepless nights, no more fear of being a burden to their loved ones. So, it's no wonder they keep asking us for more bottles for them and for their family. That's why, while this is a one-of-a-kind anti-neuropathy formula is still available, I urge you not to wait if you're still on the fence. And when you click the button below, don't forget the multi-bottle packages. That way, you'll be sure to have the formula on hand for the next several months and won't risk running out just when you start to enjoy its amazing results the most. Remember, it has to do everything I said it would do and even more. Or I insist you send back the bottles, including the empty ones, for a prompt and friendly return. As you're protected by our 60-day full money-back guarantee, I want to offer you my sincere thank you for watching my presentation and congratulate you for taking what I think is a gigantic step to the life you deserve. If you're still thinking about it, I just want to ask you to take a second and imagine what awaits you if you don't choose this formula today. You might decide to spend more time and money looking for various options. This might take weeks or even months. In the meantime, the pain might get so bad that you will completely lose the feeling of your limbs. Or maybe you believe the problem will go away by itself. Sadly, as you've seen this in the video, that's not possible. Quite the opposite. The more you wait, the more sugar crystals will form around your nerves, stabbing and cutting through them until they completely snap. But it doesn't have to be like this. There's another option. Risk nothing at all today. Grab Nervovive right now and get the peace of mind you deserve. Be in complete control of your body. Enjoy your favorite hobbies. Spend your golden years in peace and happiness, surrounded by your loved ones. Living just like it should be. So, just click below to make your choice, enter your payment details on our secure order form, and place the order now. We'll immediately ship your bottles directly to your home. Every order comes with free shipping no matter where you live, while the 3 and 6 bottle packages also come with 2 free bonuses. I can't wait for you to experience every single benefit that this one-of-a-kind anti-neuropathy formula has to offer. Still here? That's fine. This presentation covered so much information that you might have some questions. So, I'll just take a moment to answer a few questions that our clients sometimes ask before choosing this supplement. How and why does this anti-neuropathy solution work? In order to reach the brain, all your nerves go through the nerve-protecting foramen muscle, which is a very thin layer of muscle fibers. Muscle fibers need sugar to work, but because your body cannot properly process today's sugary foods, it turns into microscopic crystals deposited around the fibers. The crystals stab and suffocate the nerves, which causes the pinching and burning sensations you feel. To fix neuropathy, you have to get your body to properly absorb the sugar and dissolve the crystals around your nerves. And that's exactly what the 5 super potent ingredients in this anti-neuropathy solution do. They dissolve the sugar crystals, clearing them off while soothing your nerves and making sure no unwanted sugar gets to the foramen magnum ever again. This potent anti-neuropathy breakthrough is a scientifically formulated mix that gathers 5 premium natural ingredients that target the root cause of neuropathy. It's been proven by the experience of over 47,800 satisfied customers, like Sarah C. from Seattle, Washington, who said, "I'm so grateful this product exists. I'm not wincing in pain every day. It's just amazing." Or Thomas Collins from Modesto, California, who wrote, "I can finally enjoy long walks again. This saved me." Of course, the only definitive way to know for sure how well it can work for you is to try it today, using the special no-risk offer that you can find only on this page. Are there any side effects? This potent anti-neuropathy formula has been designed for all ages and medical conditions. All the ingredients have been proven to be safe in clinical trials and are constantly tested for purity and to ensure against toxins and contaminants. Moreover, it's manufactured in an FDA-approved facility under strict, sterile, and precise standards. With more than 47,800 customers, there have been no notable side effects. So, we're confident in saying that this is one of the purest anti-neuropathy formulas you'll ever find on the market. As always, if you currently have a medical condition or you're taking other prescription medication, we advise you to show a bottle of this to your doctor just before you take it, just to put your mind at ease. When and how should I take this anti-neuropathy formula? We recommend you take 2 capsules a day with liquid of your choice. What if it doesn't work for me? Can you tell me about the guarantee again? The more results we see, the stronger we believe that this anti-neuropathy formula has the power to give your life back and get rid of the bone-crushing pain while keeping your blood sugar in check. It's true, though, that nothing works for 100% of the people who try it, as each body works in its own way. That's why every bottle comes with an ironclad 60-day money-back guarantee. And if, for any reason, you aren't fully satisfied with the results you can just return what you haven't used for a prompt and full refund. How can I get started? It's very easy. Just click the button below now to go to our secure order checkout page. Enter your information and we'll immediately get to work shipping this incredible anti-neuropathy breakthrough right to your doorstep. So, all you have to do today is click below. Fill in your payment details on our secure order form and submit your order. I can't wait to hear your success story.